I move to approve the agenda.
Approval of minutes of the last meeting.
To approve the minutes. As presented.
I concur. Public comments. Any communications received? None. Now we will open the public hearing. Heather, are you going to go through this or do I?
I certainly can. So we received a dimensional variance request from Jeanette Cross of 18450 37th Street, Bloomingdale, Michigan, parcel 8006 400 00200 for an accessory structure that shall be located in the required front yard. Per section 4.03 of the Columbia Township zoning ordinance, minimum front yard or minimum front, side and rear setbacks on all lots. A, front yards. 5, accessory structures in the street front yard. Generally, as long as the general setback regulations of this article are met, accessory structures and buildings may be allowed in any yard that shall not be erected in the required street front yard. So that is why we are here.
Administrators report.
So per looking over the documentation as submitted, they do have an unusually strange shaped parcel. That is, there's pictures as well as the site and plot plan on there. We did talk about several different options, including having an attached garage or having it located at a different area, but due to the well and septic.
Yeah, the well and septic.
The well and septic placement. This was about the only place that she had to put this proposed structure.
You're Jeanette.
I am.
Okay. Would you like to present the reason why you would like the variance or make any type of comments?
Absolutely. So we just need additional storage space. We have a very low ceiling, small garage that is actually part of the house in itself, but there's not a lot you can fit in there. Again, because of that low ceiling, I mean, we also have a boat. We have some other equipment that needs storage, and the small shed that we had was just not adequate. It just was too small. We looked at having the additional, we literally did not think there would be an issue because we had an existing structure there to build, and we thought that that had already been approved, and I should have looked actually further deeper into it. Hindsight is 20/20. But when I had talked to Beth about, was there any potential to put it anywhere else? And I'm like sitting there mapping everything out. And I said, well, we can attach it to the house literally because our well is literally right there. It just, you can't put it there. And as she said, we have a very, very strange shaped lot. The house takes up the majority of the back side of the lot. There's small areas, but not anything big enough to put a structure. We're proposing a 30 by 40 foot garage. It's actually a garage. It's not a pole barn. In an area where our old shed was. We also sit approximately about 600, our house sits about approximately 600 feet off the road, which is not visible actually from the road. You could stand at the bottom of our driveway and look up, and maybe in the winter time you might be able to see it, but you can't see it in the summer. I mean, it's completely obscured by trees. So I mean, it's not, as far as like a, you know, a viewable, you
Not
know,
an eyesore.
right, it's not like I mean, this is gonna be a brand new structure, so, in addition, we do actually have several neighbors that have. You know, their garages or pole barns close to the road and they sit closer to the road. Or in, you know, are separate structures, and I'm assuming they've gone through the same process of, you know, gaining a variance, to build these structures. So, at this point, we need the additional storage space,
Don't we all?
well, when my husband was killed this summer in an accident, he was in South Haven on a motorcycle, and we inherited a lot of his work equipment, and we're overflowing. I mean, literally my garage right now is stacked floor to ceiling. There is no room to move in there. I have a path from the door to the house around to the toolbox. That's it. So,
So the rule, the law, the whatever, it doesn't allow a structure in the front yard?
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Jeanette. We're to the point of public comment. Jerry, do you have public comment?
Yeah,
Okay.
I say let's build a garage. My name's Terry Jakowski. I have lived in that location for 60+ years. You, looking up Jeanette's driveway, the house, what you're looking at, when you do get close enough to see it, is you're looking at a garage that's attached to the house. I mean, it's not like you're looking at a big front, formal entryway and like she said, it's a long way back there. Matter of fact, that whole project, when the original owner, when that got off to a really bad start, they built the house and realized that they were 18 or 20 feet off the west end of the property, so they had to purchase a little more ground.
So it's just this little square?
It's a long, the lot that she's on is a very long, narrow lot.
So I didn't realize that there were 2 fire lanes over there till I looked on a Google map and saw that there's 2 fire lanes. So then I had to go by today twice to look at it. So is your driveway the fire lane?
mhm.
Oh, so your property goes all the way to 47?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yours,
So it's,
okay.
it's just like
but
this
it's
long,
considered a fire lane.
our driveway is actually
Why?
considered a fire lane.
What makes it
I
fire
think they considered it, they attached a number. I don't
Is it
know.
so long?
It's-
What makes a fire lane?
I don't know, but the fire lane signs have been on there a long time, that the driveway just to the south of her is
Is another one, yeah.
labeled the same way.
Yeah,
But there's more than one house on that one, isn't there?
nope,
No,
Couldn't tell from Google Earth. So they've all come from Hillcrest.
yes,
So there's just one house down the other fire lane also,
yeah,
and then all the other ones are. Hillcrest.
yeah, but I think that's Devin Karen's, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Those Devin, yeah,
all the other homes are accessed off of Hillcrest Drive.
yeah.
Oh, good.
Beth, how do you want to do this? Are you going to lead us into a question? We're going to discuss it, or do you want me to start through the finding of that question?
What I'll do is I'll go ahead and read the finding of fact. And then have you both
So, or.
answer the questions.
Public hearing first, right?
Nope, we do the finding of fact first,
Okay.
and then close the hearing, accept it into record and then vote.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, this is, you're gonna hear me ramble on here. The application is a request for a variance from section 4.03, minimum front, side, and rear setbacks on all lots. A, front yards, 5, accessory structures in the street front yard. Generally, as long as the general setback regulations of this article are met, accessory structures and buildings may be allowed in any yard, but shall not be erected in the required street front yard. The applicant proposes a 40-foot by 30-foot accessory structure to be erected in the required front yard. The property address is 18450 47th Street, Bloomingdale, Michigan, 49026, and is located within Columbia Township. Tax parcel 8006 400 00200. Property is zoned R2 Residential Resort District. Property is currently developed with single-family residential dwelling, history of residential use. The applicant proposes to do the following on site as part of the proposed use. New construction of a 40-foot by 30-foot, 1,200 square foot accessory structure. Standards for variance. In reviewing the request for a variance, the ZBA shall consider the application in regard to the criteria set forth in this paragraph and in regard to any additional criteria imposed by case law or statutory law. Where there are practical difficulties in the way of carrying out the strict letter of the zoning ordinance, the ZBA may vary or modify any of its rules or provisions so that the spirit of the ordinance is observed, public safety secured, and substantial justice is done. The Board of Appeals may impose conditions with an affirmative decision pursuant to this section. To grant a variance, the ZBA shall find that all of the following conditions are met. There are unique conditions of the land, lot, or parcel, such as exceptional or extraordinary, narrowness of the width or depth of a lot or parcel or an irregular shape, natural or topographic features located on the lot or parcel, such as steep slopes, water, existing significant trees, or other unique or extreme physical conditions of the land. Location of an existing building or structure that allows no other practical or feasible location for expansion because of the exceptional features of the land. Dimensional conditions or characteristics of the land, lot, or parcel. The unusual circumstances do not apply to most or other lots or parcels in the same manner or to the same extent to other lots or parcels in the same zoning district. The variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right. The possibility of increased financial return shall not of itself be deemed sufficient to warrant a variance. The granting of a variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent and nearby land uses and properties. The applicant shall not have created the problem for which the variance is being sought. The granting of the variance will not be contrary to the public interest, and the spirit of the zoning ordinance shall be observed. A variance from the terms of the ordinance shall not be granted by the ZBA unless and until a written application for a variance is submitted demonstrating that special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land use, structure, or building in the same zoning district which represents such a unique situation that a precedent will not be established for other properties in the district to also ask the same or similar change through the zoning appeal procedure. Special conditions or circumstances with the land exists and is not self-created. This is a yes or no. So we'll start with Anita.
Hold on, let me read it.
What my thoughts are is, this is the dimensional variance, which means that it's not for the use of it, it's because of the terrain of the property, there's not any other place that she can locate her building. So therefore, it's a unique situation that will not be a precedent to other properties, because there's not other properties in the areas that have that terrain or that irregular shape of lot.
So,
So,
yes.
yes.
Thank you. 2, that literal interpretation of the provisions of this ordinance would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same zoning district under the provisions of this ordinance. In other words, property owner would be unable to use this land for permitted use by right.
That is true.
Yes.
That granting of the variance requested will not bring forth on the applicant any special privilege that is currently denied by the provisions of this ordinance to other lands, structures, or buildings in the same zoning district. By granting the variance, it infers additional privileges upon the owner than what is requested by applicant.
Yes.
And the last question, that no conforming use of other lands, structures, or buildings in the same zoning district and not a permitted use of lands, structures, or buildings in other zoning districts shall be considered grounds for the issuance of a variance. In other words, the basis being used for this decision is not due to other variances issued in the past.
True, it's because of the terrain and the location where the building can be located.
So I would ask kindly that you now close the public hearing. We'll motion and roll call vote to accept the finding of fact.
I will close the public hearing now.
7:18.
And you need a motion.
Are we,
To accept the finding of fact into record.
I move to accept the finding of fact.
And then
do the motion?
do your motion on,
Okay.
request?
Like,
or if you want to talk.
so did they, so she moved to accept the finding of fact,
I agree.
agreed, okay, and then you guys technically have to roll call vote that, don't you?
Okay, Manley?
I know, I just want to make sure, it's crazy, but yes,
Okay, yes.
sorry.
Okay. I move to approve the variance request for an accessory building from Article 4.03, Section 8, Part 5 of the zoning ordinance in order to approve the dimensional variance because of all the required standards are met.
I support it.
Manley?
Yes.
Oh, that's
That's funny.
You should see me running my election commission meetings, it does the same thing.
I declare the motion carried and the variance was approved.
Yay.
You know my mark. I'm so excited.
Garage, excuse me, garage, not a barn.
I don't know if I
I was
remember.
gonna say,
Did you
uh,
print that?
Oh, and okay, they're in the.
Okay, good.
What?
Next item on the agenda.
Okay, old business? Okay, old business. Pending litigation, Columbia Township versus Columbia Township Zoning Board of Appeal and West Michigan 5 LLC, case number 22072331-AA. And that is in her packet. I move to approve the resolution number. Do you have a resolution number? Christie?
Yeah.
It's 2002-001 ZBA.
Okay, 002-001 VBA. A resolution to authorize Chairman Kovach stipulate the approval of consent judgment case number 22-0723331-AA.
Actually, you're going to still stipulate for Chairman Abernathy.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I move to approve resolution 2002-001 BBA. Resolution to authorize Chairman Abernathy to stipulate approval of consent judgment case number 22-0723331-AA.
So I read this stuff. What does this mean?
It means everything that you guys did that day is gone
Okay,
and the case now is gone.
okay,
That's what it will mean.
okay. Did anything ever start to happen there?
Actually, I think when a judge orders to be vacated, they're actually gonna have to hold a meeting to vacate. Yeah, so you guys will have to hold a meeting to vacate.
I do believe so,
Yeah, I think that's correct.
but you guys need to do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Okay, I support it.
Thanks, Anne Marie.
Yes.
I'll get you.
But yes, you will have another meeting at some point, once we get the order back from the judge that says, you guys will get to come together and say, hey, we're here to say we're vacating, and then that's it.
So how are we We, the ZBA, are vacating what we decided.
Correct.
This really didn't need to be that complicated. I read through this today and I'm like, I don't understand what this said. Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there,
Wait,
well, I do have a question, and I don't know
go ahead.
if it's you people I need to address. There's a young lady that's living in a car. I think I
yes,
heard
down
you-
the street from you. Yes, I just got the address.
Okay.
I just got the address.
I
I'm
know
reporting
she,
it officially to her right now.
okay, I mean, I know she's,
So it is a woman?
yeah,
Okay, because I work with a girl that lives right next door, like it's
okay,
her property lines here and that kind of thing.
yeah.
That person's been in the area. She thought it was a man. I always.
No,
thought it was a woman.
I did too, but I stopped and talked to some of the other neighbors.
She's been in the area for years. She
Yeah.
was down, I live on 49th Street. She was down 49th Street for a long time.
Yeah.
She was down the street from
Yeah,
Christie's house for a while,
yeah,
living in a driveway there. You know
yeah,
who I'm talking about? It's a little silver car.
Yeah.
Wasn't there very long.
Honda, yeah,
yeah, it's been,
that's what I thought you were talking about, 'cause I like that.
I saw her on 47 and a half.
Yes, no, she's done.
well,
That
it's,
was a while ago.
it's just that little section of 14th that is between 47th and 46 and a half, right?
I don't know the names of her.
I
know,
did
very
see that at one point
Yeah.
on 47th and a half, and I sent the officer out there and he asked her to move, and so she probably just moved somewhere else.
But she has permission from the
Yeah.
owner of the property.
Gotcha.
He,
You ready?
the guy on the corner was,
That's the property she's on.
yeah,
Yes,
46707 14th Avenue. She's 2 driveways west of that. Because the address I just gave you is a little red house. There's a 2-story house to the west of that, and then the squatter is in the right on Brittany's property line. It creeps her out. Where are they going to the bathroom? Where are they going to the bathroom?
I've got a good idea where, but she's been there literally for weeks, and but my understanding is that the gentleman that lives on that, in that inside of that corner was told her he was letting them park.
That's what I think.
And the other neighbor across the street kind of indicated to me that he was a friend of the family and he,
So you
but
can't live in your car.
so
yeah, it's,
for future, all you have to do is call the hall and tell Ruth that you would like to have the officer take care of the situation.
Okay.
And if he can't, if they won't leave, because when he goes out there, then he'll get Beth involved.
Oh, okay.
I know that there's probably a lot deeper problem going on
I know,
there.
it's really sad.
It is, it's terrible, it's bad, but
Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I support that.
All right. You guys.
Correction, so
Okay.
I then submitted the application for the permit, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we will be in probably tomorrow then, get that done and I will.
Well, I have your building permit.
Oh, we do have it, okay.
Yep, I already have it, so, we'll just, I'll let Ruth know,
Okay,
and then just follow up with Chuck, and you should be good to go.
okay, yeah, I'll let Mark know, because I told him as soon as I found out, I would shoot him.
And I think copies.
Oh, perfect, thank you very much, yeah, okay. And then, so that's all been, processed through